The inside scoop. Todd, you teased it perfectly 30 minutes ago. I can't wait for this. Let's jump into the inside scoop, see what happened, specifically maybe even with this very first play. Todd, are we starting with this first play?
We are. We're going to start with the good stuff, you know?
I love it. Let's get set up here. So what is this, the fifth play of the game?
Yeah, this is the fifth play of the game, absolutely. And it's 4th and goal. This is after the big turnover, and this is to get points on the board. And I think it was a great call by Sean Payton. I think it is not executed perfectly. Overall, it was a way that we should have won. So you have the back offset away from the tight end, and what you're going to get is a zone read concept. So you're going to get zone read here, and you're going to get a slice by this wide receiver going back the other way. And what Russell Wilson is doing is reading this outside linebacker right here. So in zone read, he is told that if his shoulders are square, he's supposed to give the ball. Okay. If his shoulders are turned, like about to tackle or coming towards the running back, he's supposed to pull it.
Okay.
Well, if you read this guy, he is square to the line of scrimmage. So that means he's supposed to give this ball right here. If he's coming after the running back, then it's also a great play because then you have little Jordan Humphreys that's going to have nobody on him because nobody runs. So he's going to be wide open right here in the flat, easy dump off pass to Russ, or Russ can also choose to run it himself. He has options with this play call. It's not limited, which is why I love the play call.
Totally agree.
But also, if you see what happens, this guy comes upfield. He is not a factor. He is not going to tackle Javonte. Tell me who's tackling Javonte.
Nobody is.
There is nobody on this side of the field to make this play. That's why I say it's a perfect call by Sean Payton. Like he said, he had some plays that he loved against this formation. They're supposed to be a man-to-man, but whoever's going back with a little Jordan is supposed to go back, check Jordan, and then also come back and fit this run. It's impossible. So he gets stuck over here. So literally, it should be the easiest play of Javonte's career, a walk-off touchdown.
Wow.
And so that's why I feel like it was a great call by Sean Payton. And let's just say this guy tackles him. Okay, Russ, pull it. Now you got 2 on 0.
Yeah.
It's literally the perfect play. It should have worked. Yeah. There's no reason why it doesn't, except for I think Javonte trips a little bit in the gunk right here, and that's why it doesn't happen. But it's the perfect play call for what they're running and how they lined up against our offense.
So what went wrong was just Javonte getting tripped up?
Yep, he just got tripped up.
Damn.
And it's tough. Yep. 4th and 2 on the goal line, but sometimes it happens.
Damn, so close.
Yep.
And Sean pointed to just how much they like to look, and this isn't something that just hindsight you're like, yeah, it was actually a really good look. This is something that Sean has seen on tape so many times and knows that against this defense, if there's a 4th and short, that he has a right play call dialed up, and he did.
I have another play, towards the end of the game where he makes another great call, but when it was in the goal line and it was crunch time, he had the perfect game plan. He knew what he was looking at after watching film. Like, he was dialed in.
That's got to be so frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're you're like, oh my God, I'm such a genius, but these idiots couldn't make it happen.
Especially when, rightfully so, Sean's being questioned on the way he called the game and the plays he called at times. And there are questions that are probably right for Sean about, like, why did you do this? And maybe he actually didn't make the right call every time. But then other times when it's like, no, I did make the right call, and it should have been a touchdown.
Yeah. So this is the next play right here. And this goes back to our conversation on confidence in Russell Wilson. And what you see right here is they're in a twin set, and basically they're in stacked. But you're getting concepts that are very, very vanilla. Like, these are some of the early concepts you learn as a defender in the NFL. So basically, they're in empty, and they're in a twin set, and Russell Wilson's going to take the snap, and all he has to do is read this defender right here. Okay. That's his only job. It's very simple. You're running slant and a stop on both sides. Stop and a slant. This is vanilla. This is like, that's why you feel like a high school.
Exactly.
Or you can go get a rookie quarterback, because if you can't do this, then you shouldn't be playing. Yep. So it's very, very vanilla. And yes, it works out. He gets the ball to Marvin Mims, and we get about 9 yards. But I just wanted to put this on tape because I do understand the questions and the confidence in Russ, because if you have confidence in your quarterback, I think you are running better concepts than this on first and second down.
Man, that's such a good point. And that was my biggest takeaway. And I think I said it on my short hit on the postgame show, that was my biggest takeaway. It was just, it felt like all game leading up to the fourth quarter, there was zero confidence in the way that Sean Payton was calling the game for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and it's tough because I see plays like this where it's like, okay, Sean, you should give him some more.
Yep.
Now I see plays where Sean gives him more and Russ takes a sack because he can't handle a little bit of pressure. So, I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, man.
Then you throw in that Cord isn't out there.
Yeah.
And so you're like, so that it's nobody's really like getting like real separation or anything. Like remember those deep shots they were throwing in the fourth quarter? Like it was like 3 or 4 of them just like up the sidelines, and you just kept thinking like, oh, this one's getting picked. And it's like, oh, how did that not get picked? One of them actually didn't it? I can't remember. But like those are the ones where those are just like fuck it balls. Just like, I mean, it's true though. It's like there's Jerry Jeudy up the sideline, like lobbing up to in the end zone. Guess what? It doesn't work out, and it's almost an interception. Like they did the same thing up the other sideline. It's like, well, the receivers aren't going to make plays. Like you need them to be wide open and to get perfect balls. And like just with that offense, with the no protection, Russ panicking even when there is protection, the simple concepts, the fact that nobody's gonna make him a play if he just like throws up a 50-50, but like it's just there's a reason they looked so bad in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is another play that I wanted to point out. This is just getting caught in a bad defense, in my opinion. There were times that we gave them the opportunity to make big plays against us, and it's simply because they caught us in a bad defense that wasn't great for the look. So this is like a man-to-man scheme that we have, where we have Alex, who's a great blitzer, but he's blitzing. Now this is great if you have him as a free rusher to where he's going to get home quickly.
Yep.
But what you don't notice on this backside is Jonathan Cooper, a phenomenal outside rusher, is man-to-man on the tight end.
No.
Yep.
And it doesn't make sense to have Alex rushing and Jonathan Cooper man-to-man. Like, if we're going to have anybody rushing right now, I feel like Jonathan Cooper should probably be rushing and let Alex play man-to-man. But we wanted to give him a different look. But the tough thing about it is they have it blocked up. If this is, like I said, if Alex is a free hitter to where Bailey Zappi has to get rid of the ball right now, okay, I understand it. Let's do it. But now he has time to find Jonathan Cooper, who doesn't play man-to-man much, one-on-one with the tight end. And truthfully, this should have gone for maybe 20 more yards because Jonathan Cooper dies at the exact right time just to clip an ankle, but it would have been pass interference or he would have been still running with the football. So it's tough defense. I know he has help from Josie on the inside because Josie's playing like a whole technique, but I just feel like this matchup is not one that I would sign up for, and they found it.
And so what you're hoping for there is that the offense is thinking like, well, obviously it's going to be Cooper going and not Singleton, and so you get him free around the edge. But if they know that that's not going to happen, like it just doesn't work. It also sucks. I mean, coming into that game, Farrell Brown the week before, 1 catch for 4 yards. Before that, 1 catch for 4 yards. Week before that, no catches. Week before that, no catches. Like, you don't want Jonathan Cooper man coverage on anybody, but like it's Farrell Brown. Like the guy is, he's not like a receiving tight end.
He's more of a receiving tight end than Jonathan Cooper is
coverage
linebacker 15 yards downfield.
As it would turn out.
I mean, I see your point there, Hank, but man, it just feels like sometimes defenses get just a little bit too cute by putting guys in way too different of a position than they should ever really be in.
Exactly, and they weren't a good enough team that we had to trick them.
Right.
We didn't have to trick the Patriots. We just had to line up and play good football, and we could get the win.
And then, like, they were pulling all this stuff out a couple weeks ago when they needed it. And like that's when we were saying like, oh my God, this blitz defense is incredible because they were doing stuff like this. But in this game, you probably don't need it. And it caught him a couple times too.
It did.
Like you just didn't need to have these sellout blitzes. And
all right,
like
so
Alex got home once, but it didn't work.
This is a couple plays. This is 2 plays in a row that go hand in hand with each other. And this is just guys not executing. VJ is putting together a good game plan for most of the game, but guys just aren't executing. So what I want to say is, we got my guy J-Mac right here. And I know that within this game plan, they had an empty check. So similar to us, sometimes when I played, no matter what was called in the huddle, if they come out of empty, we're going to check, let's just say Cougar, and now we're playing cover 4.
Okay.
So no matter what no matter what was called, it could be a blitz, it could be cover 3, it could be a zone. No matter what, we're going to cover 4 as soon as they come to empty. Well, what you can't see before the play is Josie and Alex make the check. They kind of put their hands up like, hey, everybody, it's an empty check. J-Mac is telling Baron Brownie, when we go to this empty check, you're going to play right here inside of 2. I'm outside of 2. Josie's inside of 3. Alex is inside of 2. So they're playing cover 4 now. And so it should be locked up perfectly. And what they want to do is make Bailey Zappi think we're only rushing 3, but just don't let him have anywhere to go with the football. And we're hoping he makes a mistake. Well, what happens is Baron Browning doesn't drop. So J-Mac is playing outside leverage, which he's supposed to do,
Right.
and they are able to throw an easy slant right here, and he takes off and makes a good play, ends up being like a 20 or 15-yard play, all because Baron Browning doesn't drop.
Yeah.
And it looks like J-Mac is having an off night. He's not on his coverage, but that's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
So it puts him in a tough position. And I wish it had another picture to show the end of it. But, everybody is coming up and they all are yelling at Baron Browning like, you need to drop. Like, do your responsibility and we'll be all right. So that leads me to my next play. So first, everybody put up the signal and everybody talked. On this one, Josie comes over and yells at him, drop, Jonathan Cooper. He not only does that, he taps him. I see it on film. He comes and taps him and says, Jonathan Cooper, drop. Well, guess what? He doesn't drop again. And so J-Mac remembers, hey, I got beat on a slant really bad. So I'm not going to do that again. Well, now he's out of position trying to play inside and gets beat to the outside because he doesn't have the help that he's supposed to. If he has the help that he's supposed to, we're bracketing this route. It's not a big deal. And they have nowhere to go with the football. But he gets beat because, once again, the outside linebacker doesn't drop when he's supposed to.
I love this so much, Todd. Well, I hate that this happened, but I love that you're pointing this out so much because it feels like every year when the Broncos defense has started tough or had a tough stretch or two, it's Justin, the leader of the defense, that comes out and says it's really just communication issues and guys trying to do too much at times. And it's like, well, what does that mean? And Justin even will be like, I know this is like the same thing that I told you last year, but it's communication and guys trying to do too much. And it's like, is that really what's happening? And you just showed that's exactly what's happening. It's one, communication where a guy doesn't listen, and so the communication stops there. And then because of that, J-Mac or guys try to do too much to make up for that, and then it blows the defense up, and that's how you get the worst defense in the NFL to drive down the field on you and get points.
Absolutely.
Or the worst offense in the NFL.
Yeah, and sometimes the outside linebackers, man, they get so focused on like a great rush that I think they turn their ears off. But like, we need you to keep those ears open so you can hear these checks.
All they hear someone talking to them, they just hear like, yep, get the quarterback.
Yeah,
and
rush.
It's like,
Go get him. All right, this is Russell Wilson, and this is kind of why I feel like Sean doesn't have some of the faith that he needs in Russ to really have a successful team. So they're going to come with the blitz, but what happens is we're well prepared. Offensive line does a great job. Everybody is prepared and doing their job. What you don't see on the film is that Jerry Jeudy is running an over with outside leverage. He is about to get open. Not only that, is Troutman is one-on-one with this corner safety, and he's running the under. He's about to get open. But as soon as this blitz comes, oh, dang, we don't have the picture. As soon as this blitz comes, Russ puts the ball down and starts running forward. Where are you going?
yeah.
This is exactly what we wanted. We're blocked up. Samaji's doing a great job. We have McGlinchey that's doing a great job. Just stay right there.
Yep.
He starts running up, and now McGlinchey is trying to block his guy and doesn't know which way to block him.
Yeah.
So he tries to block him forward. Then the guy gives him like a okie doke and comes back around. But had Rush just stayed right here, it's blocked up perfectly. Set your feet, take a deep breath, and make the play either here or here that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is now he's messing up McGlinchey because McGlinchey knows that if this guy's way outside, I'm going to make him run the hoop and he'll never get there.
Yep.
But what happens with Russ is that he steps up so hard, then jets back, that now this guy has the ability to come back and make this play, when in reality, if Russ just stepped up and made the play, he would have been fine. It's perfect protection.
Yep.
Yep. And man, the protection by no means was perfect all night, but there were a lot of times where Russ let the protection down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just sucks as a veteran quarterback. Like, that's what you expect. Like, when Drew Lock was doing that stuff, you're just like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, he's been hit over and over again. He's gonna panic a little bit. But like, Russ being Russ is supposed to be a tough guy in the pocket, just stand tall, and like, if they come, they come, but get the ball out if not. And he just panics so much now, especially late in the season.
Yep.
Feels like earlier on he wasn't doing this quite as much.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like earlier on, he was able to find escape lanes here or here. Like, he is now getting back to what he was doing last year, where he's trying to run around and then run back out the back end when even in this game, he found success. It wasn't there. He took off right up the middle for like 15 yards. Great play. But I don't know what has changed to make him feel like he needs to spin out the backside or go out the back door again, because I feel like even here, like, there's escape lanes here and forward, just not going backwards.
And then you watch, like, Patrick Mahomes turn his back to the defense and do circles, and you see Lamar Jackson do that as well. Russ isn't the athlete that those guys are. I guarantee you, most quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators, head coaches say, "Do not do that. Don't do that." And there's a reason. It's because most guys aren't athletic enough to make the plays that specifically like Lamar Jackson's making this year.
But last night, that's how he took the safety.
Right.
Turns back to the defense doing all of his zigzag stuff, and he tripped on the ref. But like,
that was so
an official kind of
so
took
bad.
him
But
out.
he did run out the bat. Like, that was like a 15-yard safety, 18-yard safety. That was crazy.
Right. And that's even like the best athlete that plays the quarterback position
or
still gets caught up.
Tyreek is a better athlete.
No.
It's like a top. No, you still say
Lamar Jackson is the best athlete
okay,
in the
that's
NFL.
fair.
Tyreek Hill is like the fastest player,
Fair.
but as far as athletes and what he can do when the ball's in his hands and shiftiness, as well as throw the ball 50 yards down the field when you need him, like, I think he's the best athlete on the football field.
Insane what they, especially against that defense last night. He made him just look like a bad defense.
Yeah, man looks silly.
Hopefully the Broncos go to the playoffs, but I'm also really excited to talk about the quarterbacks in this draft after the season goes down. Because like Jaden Daniels, some of his runs, like he is just like he's the fastest player on the field. Like he just gets a crease and he's just like outrunning guys. Meanwhile, you have Michael Penix, who's the opposite, but like has an incredible arm. I don't know. Like I still think I like Penix better, but I don't know. That's a conversation for the offseason. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Jaden Daniels is supposed to be like a top 5 pick now.
Oh, I think Sean's going to fall in love with Jaden Daniels this offseason. And I do think to get him, it will involve trading a future first-round pick to move up. And I think Sean's going to be just okay with that.
If you're picking 14th, that future first gets you up to like 9th?
2 firsts.
Dang.
I don't think Sean is going to be afraid to make a massive move for a quarterback this offseason.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yep.
All right, here's the last play I have. And this just goes back to, Sean liking what he saw on film in the red zone. And this is another good play. This ends up being a touchdown for Javonte. But again, this team is in man-to-man. This is what they play when they get in the red zone. So everybody's manned up. This linebacker has Javonte, but he also has the A-gap. But everybody's manned up. So what's so tough about this play, they call it the Niner boot, is that everybody's coming down. I have to be responsible for this A-gap. So if they run it here, I got to not only play this gap, but I also have this man to where if Javonte's running out here, I got to get through all these guys, running routes, and my own guys to be able to get to the outside and make this play on Javonte. So I feel like when you're in man coverage, this is another great play by Shonda. It's just too much traffic and too far to go for the linebacker to get there. And it's always tough. When I played, we would tell the defensive end, if he's that dot, give me some help. And if you come off the ball, chip him so I can get through because it's going to take me a minute to get here. But this is Sean knowing exactly what he sees on film. The linebacker doesn't have time to get there. Another great play. Easy pass from Russell Wilson and ends up being a touchdown. And that's just all about, that's all based on alignment and assignment. It's tough to have the A gap in the middle of the field and then also have the running back at the widest point he can get on the field. It's a tough play.
Yeah. Man, the inside scoop. I love it, Todd. You brought the heat today.